I saw a video the other day on Instagram and I knew I had to make it as soon as possible. My problem is I really don't want to go to the store, so I'm hoping that I have everything on hand. Fingers crossed. It's for like a tortellini pesto chicken bake. It just sounds delicious and it looked good, so. What's the matter? He wants to play. This little monster. Look at his face. Back to what I was saying. So I'm gonna go shopping in the fridge and in the pantry and see what I have. Good news is I don't have to go to the store, but I am going to be, what's that word? Ad-libbing here a little bit. So this is what I'm using. It calls for tortellini. I don't have any, but I do have ravioli, which is basically the same thing except it's flat. The chicken, since this is so last minute, all of my chicken is currently frozen. Was like, ooh, rotisserie chicken. Don't have one of those either. What I do have, these frozen tendies. So what I'm gonna do is just bake a few of these up, chop them up, put them in. As long as your chicken is cooked when it goes in there, you can use whatever you want. It calls for Alfredo sauce and pesto. I don't have any pesto, but what I do have is Alfredo sauce with basil, which is pesto. So it's perfect. It does call for like a jar and a half. I only have one jar, so I'm gonna throw that in there, see what I got, and if it needs a little more like juice, I'll just put a little bit of chicken stock in there. Cheese, she's using some like shredded mozzarella. I don't have any, but what I do have are like a ton of slices of mozzarella and some provolone, so I'm gonna mix these together. And I also have Parmesan, so I'll be using that. I'm going to add some color to this. I had these little baby cute tomatoes. They're like little baby mini cherry tomatoes. So what I'll do is roast these a little bit, give them a little bit of a head start, and I'll put those in there, and I'll probably add some garlic in there. And I think I'm gonna add some lemon zest to give it a little bit of a brighter flavor. That's it. I will link the video down below and I'll write kind of more accurate measurements or ingredients of what I'm using, because like recipe or ingredient list that she wrote in there isn't as descriptive. So I thought I'd make it a little easier for you guys. The oven temperature was also not mentioned in the recipe, so I'm gonna go 375 and see what happens. So my oven is preheating to 375 Fahrenheit. I've just got all of my stuff in here and I feel like I might want a little bit more liquid, so I am going to add just a little bit of chicken stock. That's better. And that was it. Also, I don't know why I do this to myself. Like, I'm glad I'm going to be eating this for a month, so that's great. I have a greased 9x13 baking dish here. Just pour it all in. Make sure you get it all. I feel as though I want crunchies on here. Panko never fails. I'm just gonna do a little sprinkle just to give it a little something extra. I'm also going to zest a little bit more lemon on top and a little more Parmesan, some pepper, a little bit of some kosher salt, and just a like very tiny touch of olive oil just to help those breadcrumbs kind of brown up. However, I am going to cover this because the directions say to bake this for 40 minutes, so I don't want this to burn on top, so I'm going to cover it for like 35 until it is bubbly and delicious. Take the foil off, let it toast up on the top. I might put it on broil. We'll see what the situation is, but this is going to get covered and in the oven. The smell in this house is intoxicating. It is bubbly and cheesy and a little crunchy on the top there. I just had this on broil for a few minutes. If you do that, make sure you watch it because it can burn in a second. I am so excited. However, I am going to wait. I'm gonna let this chill out for a few minutes. It is the temperature of the sun. We are looking good. Look at the cheese. Now I feel like I understand why tortellini might be easier, is because ravioli is not exactly bite size. If I wanted to, I could, but I'm a lady. So I cut one in half. I got it all. This is, I've done something. It's so good. It's creamy. Those flavors are out of control. The tomatoes were a good call. They are like still very soft, but they're like bursting and they're sweet. Also, the panko was a good call. It's crunchy and it's so cheesy. The lemon is so good. It really brightens everything up and it was so easy. Also, this goes to show, you know, you don't need everything in the recipe. You can make it your own. You can improvise. Improvise was the word I was looking for earlier. It was really fast to throw together, perfect for this time of year. Who doesn't love like a dump and go kind of dish? This is it. I hope you make it and I hope you enjoy.